Hello, this is Morteza Kordi, and in this tutorial we're going to actually make this equal button work. So just open your calculator.java file, and here we have the onClick method. So we're going to go inside this switch statement. We have this case r.id.btn equal. So now inside for this case we are going to call operator is tapped method, and we are going to pass the equal operator as the argument to this method. So operator.equal. So now that's enough. Okay, just calling this method is enough in order to make this btn equal work, because when this method is called here, the operator is tapped is called, and we are actually passing the equal operator to this method. First, as you can see, the current operator is not equal to null because the equal operator is actually passed, because some operation has actually been executed. So the current operator is not null. And if it is null, then it's not going to actually execute this if statement. Then it's going to actually assign the current number to the string number at right. And then it's going to actually set the empty value to this current number variable. And this switch statement is going to be executed. So now let me show you the emulator. Here, for example, we have number 5. Okay, number 5 multiplied by 2. Okay, and now I'm gonna press on this equal button. The result is going to be outputted to the console. So here, when I say this switch statement is going to be executed, so first you can see that the current number is going to be assigned to the string number at right. So here we have the number 10. Okay, but now when the switch statement is going to be executed, it is switching between the values of the current operator. When I say the current operator, it doesn't mean that the current operator is actually this equal operator, because at the end of this operator is tapped method, we are going to update the value of this current operator variable. So at the end of this method, here you can see in line number 199, we are assigning the tapped operator to the current operator. So for example, when I say 5 multiplied by 2, okay, now if I press on this equal button here, it doesn't mean that now the current this equal button, this equal operator is the current operator. It is just the tapped operator. The current operator is that multiplication operator that I pressed before this equal operator. So now here, let's actually scroll to the top here, it says switch current operator. So it's going to switch between the values of this current operator. In our case, we said that, so let me just explain again. We said that 2 multiplied by 5. In our case, the current operator is multiplication operator, right? So here it's going to actually take a look at this case statement, case multiply, and it's going to just calculate the result, string number at left multiplied by a string number at right, and the result is going to be assigned to this calculations result variable, right? And then it's going to go down here after this ending curly brace. It's going to update the value of this string number at left by actually assigning the calculation result to this variable. And then the value is going to be displayed on the screen. So txt results.set text string number at left. And finally, we are actually updating the value of this calculation string in order to show this value to the user at the top here. So now we can actually run the app, and here you can see that after executing these lines of code here, this else statement here is not going to be executed, because the current operator is not equal to null if an operation is actually occurring. And then the tapped operator is going to be the current operator. Okay, so now we can actually run the app. We can say run, and then let me show you the emulator. So for example, we have number 5 multiplied by 2 here. Now I'm going to press on this this equal button. Now the result is outputted here to the screen. Okay, so now you can, I told you that the current operator is going to be the tapped operator, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna say number 10 here, the result is multiplied by 2 equal operator, and now our application is crashed. So this means that there is a bug inside our application. First of all, in order to find the bug, we need to take a look at the logs. The first step is to take a look at the logs. So at the bottom, I'm gonna click on this log cat here. So let me show you the logs. And here it says, so let me actually show you the error. So now here we are going to take a look at the red texts. Actually, the red texts are going to show you the exact bug, the fatal exception. And here it says that there is a number format exception for input string empty string here. You can see that here. And we've got two links actually. The first one is calculator file Java line 71. If I click on it, it's gonna actually highlight the operator is tapped method calling for this btn equal case. And the next one is actually calculator Java 160. The error is occurred here. And you can see that the string number at left variable is highlighted. So there is something wrong here inside our Java file. So let me close this log cat here. In order to find the bug, we don't have to look through the codes in order to find the bug and kill it so that our application works. That's not how it is designed. That's not how it works. We've got debugging tools at our hand that we can use it in order to find the bug and solve it. So how we can actually use these debugging tools? So first of all, we know that there is something wrong with our string number at left method or variable actually. So I'm gonna create a debugging point, a red point here for this operator is tapped method. So in line number 148 here, when I actually create this method operator is tapped, I'm going to create a red point for this method. It is called a debugging point so that we can actually debug from this line of code and then we can actually step by step see what's wrong with our codes. So now I'm gonna run the app. So I'm not gonna run the app. We've got another option. We've got debug the app. You can see this one here, a bug, a gray bug, and you can see this play button here on this gray bug. So just click on this one and let's choose an emulator and then click on OK. Let me show you the emulator. So it says waiting for debugger. So let's wait. Now it is ready. Now I have number 5. Okay, so I'm gonna just click on number 5. Multiplied. So now the debugging is started. So we are going to step by step see what's wrong with our code and see exactly how to debug the app. Now the method operator is tapped is actually called because I clicked on this multiplication operator. So that's why the debugging is now started, because I created this red point for this method operator is tapped. Here we have some options, some icons. The first one says step over. Step over is going to execute the current code, the current line of code in its entirety. So it's going to execute that line of code in its entirety. So if I click on step over, as you can see, it wanted to actually execute this line of code if current operator is not equal to null. So the current operator is actually null because when I pressed on this multiplication operator, the current operator is null. We have a tapped operator, so you can see that it says the tapped operator is multiply, but the current operator is null. So this if statement here is not going to be executed. So the flow of the program is going to go inside this else statement, right? And it's going to execute this line of code. It says string number at left, assignment operator, current number. So we've got the current number, which is number 5. And here you can see that here. So it says string number at left is null, and we've got the current number, which is number 5. So the number 5 is going to be assigned to this string number at left. If I click on step over, now this line of code is going to be executed, and the number 5 is going to be assigned to the string number at left. So let me click on it. Now it's going to say that the string number at left is number 5. And here we want to assign an empty string value to this current number variable. So it says that the current value of the current number variable is 5, but when this line of code here is going to be executed, when this line of code is executed, the empty value, the empty string value is going to be assigned to this current number variable. So let me click on this step over. Now, you can see if I actually hover over this current number here, you can see that an empty string value is assigned to this variable. Now it's going to execute this line of code. The tapped operator is going to be assigned to the current operator. Okay, so now the current operator is going to be the multiplication operator. So if I show you the emulator, and now if I click on this step over, now it says the current operator is multiply. The tapped operator is also multiply, right? So now it reached to the end of this method. Now if I click on step over again, now you can see that this line of code here is executed. The operator is tapped, and you can see that it's going to assign this value to this variable calculation string. So there is nothing wrong with our calculation string or txt calculations text view. So we are going to just resume the program. So at the left hand side, you can see this left sidebar of this debugging area. It says resume program. So let's click on resume program. So we said 5 multiplied by, for example, 6. Now I'm gonna click on this equal operator. So again, the operator is tapped, method is called. Okay, so now it's gonna again take a look at this if statement. If current operator is not equal to null, so the current operator is not equal to null because the current operator is the multiplication operator, and the current number is not equal to an empty string value. So it says true. The current number is not equal to actually an empty string value. So it is true. You can see that this value here because we pressed on this number 6. So if I click on step over, this if statement here evaluates to true, and it's going to execute this if statement. It's going to actually execute this line of code. So the current number is going to be assigned to the string number at right. The current number is number 6. So if I click on step over, you can see that it says string number at right is 6. And the current value of the current number is 6. Now we want to assign an empty string value to the current number. So if I click on step over, now it says the current number value is empty string. So now it's going to execute this switch statement. Let's click on this step over. So we know that the current operator is multiply, so it's going to execute this case multiply. And here we are going to actually, you can see that it says calculation result is 0. The value of this variable is 0, and the string number at left is 5. So let me click on step over. Now it says that we have 5, and the string number at right is 6. Okay, because we pressed on number 6. So if I click on step over, now the calculation result is going to be, the value of the calculation result is going to be 30. So let me show you that here. String number at left is 5. Calculation result is 30. So we want to assign the value of the calculation result to the string number at left here. So if I click on this step over, this line of code is executed. Now it says calculations result 30, and it's going to execute this value. So it's going to output the value of the string number at left to the screen. And finally, it's going to execute this line of code here. So, and finally here, after executing these lines of code, it's going to assign the tapped operator to the current operator. So the tapped operator is actually equal. We can see that here. The equal operator is going to be assigned to this current operator. So if I click on step over again, now this line of code is executed. The current operator is equal. And now I'm going to click on step over again. So you can see that this line of code here is actually going to be executed equal. And here, because the operator is tapped and we said operator.equal, and we pressed on the equal button. So we are going to click on this step over again. And finally, it's going to execute this line of code. So there is nothing wrong with our txt calculations. So we are going to just resume the resume program by just clicking on this play button here inside this debugging area. So now the number 30 here is outputted to the screen. Okay. So now we have number 30 as the result. Now I'm going to say 30 plus. So here, this is very important. Here it is where we actually find the bug. And just notice that here I am actually teaching you advanced debugging in Android. So make sure to pay attention to what I'm teaching you, because this is very important and it's gonna help you a lot in your future Android projects. If you are actually an Android developer and don't know how to debug an app, you are going to encounter lots of problems. Trust me. So now, just pay attention here. I actually pressed on the plus operator here, right? So now the operator is tapped method is called. Here we say if current operator is not equal to null. So the current operator is equal, okay? Here you can see the value of the current operator. So it is not equal to null, and here it says, and the current number is not equal to an empty string value. So it says true, the current number is not equal to an empty string value, right? And here I'm gonna actually just click on step over. So there is something wrong here, okay? There is something wrong here. The current number is actually null. It's not null, it is actually, the value of the current number is an empty string value. You can see that here, current number is not equal to an empty string value, and it is true. This means the current number is actually empty. And that's why this if statement here didn't execute, and the flow of the program went into the else statement here. Okay, so when I pressed on, so we have the result 30, and I pressed on the plus operator. Now it wants to execute this else statement. So now it wants to assign the current number, which is actually an empty string value, to the string number at left. So here you can see that it says that the value of the current number is empty. It's just showing us the value of the current number. So this empty value is going to be assigned to this string number at left. Let's click on step over. Now we can see that the value of the string number at left is actually an empty string value, and the value of the current number is also an empty string value, right? If I click on step over again, now the tapped operator is going to be assigned to the current operator. So the current operator is going to be plus, the plus operator. So if I click on step over, it's gonna go, and you can see that it's this case statement btn plus is executed. So there's nothing wrong with this line of code. So we are going to just resume the program. So we have 30 plus, and notice that now the value of the string number at left is an empty string value, and that's where the bug is. So if I click on, for example, number 5, and if I click on this equal operator here, the app is going to crash. But because we created a debugging point here, a red point, we can actually control the flow of the program. So now I'm going to show you that where the app is actually going to crash. Now you know that we have the current operator is plus, and the current number is 5 because I pressed on the number 5 here. Okay, so now it's going to execute this if statement. If I click on this here, so let me show you that if I actually show you that, let's click on this step over. Now the value of the current number, which is actually number 5, is going to be assigned to the string number at right. So we have number 5 as the value of the string number at right, and we are going to execute this current number, this line of code, and an empty string value is going to be assigned to the current number. So let's click on step over, and now it's going to execute this switch statement, and the current operator is plus. If I click on this step over again, so this case statement here is going to be executed, case plus. Calculations result assignment operator integer that parse int string number at left. So if I hover over this string number at left, it means it says that the value, the current value of the string number at left is an empty string value. So we cannot convert an empty string value to an integer value. So what happens when I click on this step over? Our app crashed. And if I click on resume here, you can see that the application crashed. So we found the bug, and now we need to solve the bug. So let me close this file and let's go inside this calculator.java file. And here, the problem is inside this line of code, this operator is tapped method. We need to create an inner if statement for the current number is not equal to null, is not equal to empty string value. So by using an AND logical operator, a bug actually went inside our application. So here we need to use an inner if statement instead of an AND logical operator, right? So here we can go inside this if statement and say if current number is not equal to an empty string value, then we can open and close this if statement by using these curly braces, and we can actually delete this part of this if statement here, and we don't want to use this AND logical operator. So here we used an inner if statement instead of an AND logical operator. So we are going to actually delete this ending curly brace of this if current number is not equal to empty string value, and we are going to put the ending curly brace here before this else statement here. Okay, so now this you can see that now this else statement here is only related to this if current operator is not equal to null if statement, not the inner one, this one, if current number is not equal to an empty string value. Okay, so whenever this if statement here, if current operator is not equal to null, whenever this condition fails, then the else statement here is going to be executed. Okay, and if this condition here, if current number is not equal to an empty string value here, if this condition fails, it's not going to execute the else statement, because inside the else statement we are actually assigning an empty string value to the current number. Okay, so that's the cause of the error. So now let me actually delete this breaking point by just clicking on it. And now if I run the app, let me show you the emulator. So for example, we have number 5 multiplied by 3 equal to 15 plus 3. Now if I click on is equal here, our application is not going to crash. The result is going to be shown to the user, number 18. Now the error is solved. Okay, if you want to, so we can actually also create a breaking point here again for this operator is tapped. So let's again click on this debugging here, debugging, and let me show you the emulator, because I want to show you now the bug is killed and we can actually run the app smoothly. We can say, for example, number 5 plus. So here it says tapped operator is plus and the current operator is null. So this means that this, if this condition here evaluates to false, this condition here fails, and now it's going to execute the else statement if I click on this step over. So you can see that the current number is going to be assigned to the string number at left. And here the current number, the value of the current number is going to be emptied, right? So now it's going to assign the tapped operator to the current operator. The tapped operator is plus. So if I execute this line of code, now the current operator is going to be plus. So let me resume the app. So 5 plus 2 equal, so again, the operator is tapped method is called. So now it's going to again execute this if statement. So if current operator is not equal to null, so now the current operator is the plus operator, okay? If I click on this step over, now this condition evaluates to true, and the current operator is not equal to null. So we have this condition, if current number is not equal to an empty string value. The current number is not equal to an empty string value because I pressed on this number 2. So again, this condition here evaluates to true, and it's not gonna fail. So if I click on this step over, now it's gonna execute this line of code. Current number is going to be assigned to this string number at right variable. So it says string number at right variable is now null. The value of this variable is now null, but the value of the current number is 2. So number 2 is going to be assigned to this string number at right variable. If I click on step over here, you can see the value of this string number at right, 2, and an empty string value is going to be assigned to this current number. So if I click on this step over here, now it's gonna execute this switch statement. So I pressed on the plus operator, right? The current operator is now a plus. So if I click on step over, so it's gonna execute this case plus, and it's gonna just add the value of the string number at left. So you can see the value of the string number at left, which is number 5, to the value of the string number at right, which is number 2. So the result is going to be assigned to the calculation result, and it's gonna actually execute this line of code here. String number at left, assignment operator string, that value of calculation result. The value of the calculation result is number 7. So number 7 is going to be assigned to the string number at left. And if let's execute this line of code, and then it's gonna output this value to the screen. So now it's gonna execute this line of code. The tapped operator is going to be assigned to the current operator. The tapped operator is the equal operator. So now it's going to be assigned to the current operator if I execute this line of code. So it says the current operator is equal. Let's resume the app. So now you can see number 7 here. So now we have the number 7. Number 7 multiplied. I just clicked on the multiplied operator. So it says current operator is not equal to null. So it's not, because the current operator is an equal operator. So let's execute this line of code. Now it's gonna execute this line of code. If current number is not equal to an empty string value, it is. The value of the current number is actually an empty string value. So there is something wrong here. This condition here is going to be failed if I execute this line of code. Now you can see that the else statement here didn't execute, because if the else statement did execute, the empty string value of the current operator is going to be assigned to the string number at left, and that's where the actual bug would occur. Now you can see that because this else statement now didn't actually execute, it's going to assign the tapped operator to the current operator. The tapped operator is multiply. Okay? I said that 7 multiplied, the tapped operator is multiply, and the tapped operator is going to be assigned to the current operator. So if I click on step over, now we can see the current operator is multiply. So let's resume the app. So 7 multiplied by 2. If I click on this equal operator here now, again, it's gonna check this condition. If current operator is not equal to null, it's not. The value of the current operator is multiply. Okay, so step over, and here it says if current number is not equal to an empty string value, it's not, because now the value of the current number is number 2. I clicked on the number 2. I tapped on this number 2. So the value of the current number is 2. Step over, and here it says current number is going to be assigned to the string number at right. So number 2 is going to be assigned to this variable string number at right, and the value of the current number is going to be emptied. And switch current operator, which is going to be multiplication operator, and it's going to execute this line of code. The string number at left is 7, and string number at right is number 2. The result is going to be assigned to the calculation result, number 14. So here it's going to assign the number 14 to this string number at left. Step over, and the value is going to be outputted to the screen. So now the tapped operator, which is actually the equal operator, is now going to be assigned to this current operator. So step over, and now if I step over again, so let's resume the app, and now you can see, let me show you the emulator. You can see that number 14 is outputted to the screen, and our application didn't crash. So again, number 14. So let me just delete this breaking point and run the app in order to show you that the bug is actually killed and we can run the app smoothly without any errors. So 5 minus 3 equal, and number 2, so multiplied by 9 equal 18 divided by 3 equal 6. So you can see that our application works fine. Okay, so that's enough for this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we're going to work on this clear button, so that whenever this button is actually tapped or clicked, everything on the screen of this, for example, the TXT results, the TXT calculations, everything should be cleared, and the user can actually start calculating from new. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please post a discussion in the course, and then I will do my best to answer all of your questions. I'll see you in the next tutorial.